Hello everyone, this is Mistakes Were Made. It is a channel that I created to document my family's progress with debt reduction and eventual elimination. And today we are doing the cash envelope stuffing for our second pay period of April. Sadly today I do not have a little buddy hanging out in the chair next to me to create havoc. So it'll just be me today. But let's see what we're working with. We've got 100, 200, 300, 50, 450, 70, 90, 500, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 565, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, and 71. $571 is what we're working with today. All right. So I'm always curious, do most of the folks that watch our channel, and if you are new, welcome. And of course, if you've been following along, welcome back. Do you guys do cash envelopes? Do you do envelope stuffing? Honestly, it wasn't anything I'd really ever heard of until we were in the situation that we are now in. And it took me a little bit of time to warm up to the idea, but I do enjoy it now. I do see the benefits of using a system like this for certain things. So I'm curious if this is something that most people that are doing some kind of budgeting include as part of their budget process, or if it seems to be a little bit more of a niche thing. Yeah, let me know down below. All right, so we are going to get started. This pay period, we do fund AAA. And for those who are new, we are a kind of per paycheck budgeting family. The way that our two paychecks fall, it makes it easier for us to budget by first pay period of the month and second pay period of the month. So we do cash stuffings twice a month. Some of the envelopes get filled only during the first pay period, some only during the second. Others get a little bit of money each pay period. So for AAA, we are going to do $15. And you can tell that I needed change for stuff because we've got this 50 here, and usually we're working with 10s and 5s. So what do we have now? We've got 50, 60, 70, 80, 95, $105. That means we, and today is the 16th, we're doing a bit of a double header. If you saw our previous video that came out, which should be the recap for the first pay period of April, we filmed it just like a few minutes before this. But anyway, at $105, we are getting pretty close to meeting that $150 goal. It will be interesting to me to see. I'm trying to think if I calculated it right so that we hit 150 before the subscription is due, or if this is not ever actually going to get hit before we need to take the money and put it towards the cost, because I'm pretty sure the total is not exactly 150. I think I rounded it up just a little bit. Okay, next is birthdays, and we get $12 to go towards birthdays. Let's see where we're at with this bad boy. Our 1s and our 10. Okay, we are at 20, 40, 55, 56, 57, 58, $58, $59, and $60. Oh, this glittery dollar bill is forever gonna make me laugh. It's just, I'm gonna be a little bit sad when I have to deposit it into the bank because we're doing birthday stuff. Okay, the 16th, we are at $60. So again, we're almost halfway to the total amount that we put on here. The first birthday that will be coming up is in July. So my guess is we probably won't necessarily get to the $125 before we have to pull money out of it. Car maintenance is not going to get any money, but boy, let me tell you. So I finally went in and I took my car in and got the oil change, which the oil change itself was $100. How ridiculous is that? But I knew that there might be a need to change like some filters out. So of course, after they did their diagnostic, they're like, hey, your cabin air filter and your engine filter are, you know, not the best. It wasn't like in some critical state or anything, but they suggested having them replaced. And the estimate for that, it was like $223 just for the filter themselves, and then another $500 for labor. I about died. I was like, I am prepared begrudgingly to pay the $100 for the oil change part. I still think that's ridiculously high, but tacking on another $730 some dollars. A, we didn't have that much in our little cash envelope, and B, that just seemed outrageous. So I was actually very, very irritated. and I let him know. I was like, yeah, we're not prepared to pay for that right now, but maybe next time. And they're like, oh, great. Well, your car's ready, blah, blah, blah. So in the meantime, I was like, I wonder how difficult it is to change the engine filter. You know, I have no clue. That's not knowledge that I have. So I looked on the YouTubes, and lo and behold, I found a video to change the engine filter for my car make and model. And it took the guy like 3 minutes. And then I looked up, I saw, what kind of filter would it look like. And I went and I looked it up just online. I, put my make and model and engine filter in, and it looked the same as in the video. That thing was like maybe $40. I don't even remember if it was that much. So for $40 and about 3, maybe 10 minutes for me, I'll be honest, it could be even 20 because I'm not necessarily the most coordinated, versus if we assume it's halvesies on the cost that they put out there, $380. Oh my gosh, I was steamed. So yeah, my guy, I told him about the situation. He's like, well, yeah, that's how they make their money. And he's like, I will go to the Pet Boys or whatever car shop place and get a filter, and I'll change it for you. I was like, okay, thank you. I mean, having watched the video, I feel confident that I probably could have done it myself, but if he's going to offer, I am not going to get in his way. And I think he's kind of feeling his oats after being able to fix our dishwasher. So I am happy to give him those jobs. Christmas, we do pay in 2, and it is going to be $12. So let's see where we're at for that. Ooh. And we'll just put that in there. Okay, we've got 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Why did I go past the 10? we're going to start that over. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Oh, I guess I didn't need to because we were in the 100. Oh my gosh, my brain is gone. 105, 106, 7, 8, 9, 10. That feels really thick. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we're at 120. I need to do something so that I don't have quite so many ones at some point. 416, 120. We still have a ways to go to get to the end goal of $350, but progress is being made. All right, clothing gets $5. We're definitely way off of the limit of 500 for this puppy. Oh, I guess I don't want to write $5. I need to see how much we're going to have. 10, 15, 20, $25 is where we're at. And maybe $5 a month is not an adequate allowance for clothes. I mean, everybody knows how expensive clothes are. Even going to thrift stores, you know, like a Goodwill or consignment shops anymore, everything is just so much more expensive. And just as a personal note, I'm not a little petite thing, so, you know, clothes that are good for me tend to be even more expensive, and yet uglier somehow. So, you know, go figure that. Anyway, we may need to kind of reassess this at some point, especially if we get to a point where we do have some flexibility in the budget to move money around and kind of reassess some of our cash envelopes just in general. We are not at a point where we can do that yet, though, so we'll continue as we have. Dine out gets nothing. Entertainment gets nothing. Garden yard has been wiped out. It gets nothing. Gas also has been wiped out. It gets $100 though for this pay period. I anticipate that our gas allotment, you know, in previous months, basically, you know, in the October, November, December, the wintry months, we didn't utilize gas quite as much, and especially because I am working from home, we don't need to use, I'm not, you know, running my car every single day, but we do tend to use my car if we're doing outings. Well, you know, we're pretty hardy people, so, you know, a rainstorm or a little bit of cold weather doesn't typically mean that we don't go out and about. And oh my goodness, Oregon is just such a beautiful gem. I don't want to hear it from anybody who wants to denigrate it. We're not going to get into a political discussions. Yes, there is absolutely a homeless situation. I'm not going to call it a problem. You know, it's not everybody is out there because they want to be. I said I wasn't going to get political. That is the end. But you cannot discount the beauty that can be found in Oregon because a lot of people are struggling, and we're actually seeing it, and people are starting to pay attention to it because it's not hiding in the bad parts of town like it used to in the 80s and somewhat into the 90s and stuff. So anyway, as I have deviated, going forward, as it gets nicer and things like that, we probably will be doing more trips, like going to the beach, going to various hiking points. So we might have to reassess the allotment for gas, and we probably will start using the allotment for gas a little bit more heavily as well. I can say previously, when we did have a little bit of leftover to go into miscellaneous, or once we started doing the savings challenge for the garden and yard, gas was one where we tended to have a decent amount of money left over at the end of the pay period. Obviously, this last one, we did not. So, gas. And plus, with the gas prices going up higher, obviously the cost is going to affect what we have left over as well. Gifts. Oh my goodness, I'll tell you what. I don't know what's going on with the folks that I know, but they are being much more expensive than I thought they were going to be. One of my former employees is pregnant and having a baby. So, of course, I went overboard after being invited to the baby shower and cleaned out our gift thing. So technically there's a little bit of an IOU that probably should be in there, but what we ended up doing is just eating into some of our overage to cover the balance. I want to say maybe some of the gas extra that we had also went to kind of augment this one too. But, it's all for the babies. Giving, we do not do this time around. Grocery, we still have money in here because this month was essentially a magic month for the groceries. We calculate how much money we're going to need by how many Mondays are in a month. We typically do the grocery shopping on Thursday or even on Friday. I think my partner is actually going to start doing Fridays more often because we get the 4-time fuels points at Fred Meyer for that. But that's why we still have some money from the last pay period, just because this month the pay period ended on Monday, and we haven't used that $100 yet. So for the next 2 weeks to finish out April, we're going to be putting $200 in. We're also looking at, we typically shop at Fred Meyer's. It is just like around the corner. And ever since I was a kid, I've loved that store. I liked it far better before Kroger, bought it, but it's my go-to. I really like it. Winco, we do have one. It's not nearly as convenient. I have not shopped there maybe more than twice, so I don't have like a real good feel for it. But I've heard good things, so we have talked about maybe making some changes and trying to do some cost comparisons. Would it be worth the effort to drive out to where the Winco is versus going to the very, very convenient Freddy's? We've gone to Grocery Outlet. I wasn't super impressed with Grocery Outlet. I've gone to Dollar Tree before, but honestly, I have never actually purchased food from there beyond, when we first bought this house and we needed to do painting and stuff, I think we popped into the Dollar Tree that's, again, just around the corner from us and got a big jug of Hawaiian punch. And we, used that, and we didn't have anything in the house. So I think we bought a couple of food items that you could, prepackaged foods that you could just eat as is, and didn't need any cooking or anything like that. And that's what sustained us while we were painting until like 2:00 in the morning in our newly purchased empty house. But yeah, I haven't really purchased anything other than maybe a candy or something there. So no idea about quality of food. I know that some folks have trepidation because it's $1 or $1.25 now. So I don't have an opinion on it, but I've seen that there are Dollar Tree, and I guess Dollar General doesn't count because it's not just $1. Like shopping haul things that people have done for groceries in the past. I should probably watch some of those and just see, would it make sense to purchase some stuff there? I do know you have to be careful because yes, it may be $1, but the quantity sizes are smaller, so you may or may not be saving. So anyway, that was a nice rambling conversation about stuff. Health, $10. As you got, I'll talk. I am not comfortable being in front of the camera, and honestly, before I started my gardening channel that I have, which I have not actually done any videos for in a long time because I've been very, very lazy. I was not comfortable being behind the camera either. But now, man, give me something to talk about. I'll talk to you forever. $20, $30, $40. I will talk to you until you are sorry you said something to me. Which, that is not necessarily me in person. I typically am a background person, unless I know you. Then again, you can't get me to shut up. Household does not get anything right now. Actually, let's come back to household. So, and because what did I do with it? SpaghettiOs. Yeah, and we'll pull out recliner savings too. So, I don't know if I mentioned during one of our videos that we were going to go kind of check recliners out just to see what was out there. Well, I'll tell you what. Recliners are way more expensive than I thought they were. I would have sworn you could find a not high-end, but relatively okay recliner for $250 to $400. Holy macaroni. No. At least not at the few places that we looked. Oh my gosh, it was definitely sticker shock. The cheapest one that we found that we felt would be a good fit for what we need, because my partner's not small, he's also not, he's tall too, and frankly, he will probably have dogs on his lap while he is, in the chair, so it needs to hold some heft. The cheapest one we saw was like $570, $550. Oh my God. And then it just went up from there. Oh boy, oh boy. So, yeah. So what I ended up doing is like, well, we did put $25 in the household thinking we were done with augmenting the recliner savings. We moved that $25 to here. So now we're, instead of $500, we're at $525. We are still waiting for Memorial Day type of sales to come around and see if anything reduces further. I did look on, of all places, Home Depot. I don't know what prompted me to, oh, that's not actually where that goes, to look there, but they have a section for furniture and recliners, and some of theirs are under 500, $550. So he's gonna kind of take a look at some of those and see if it makes sense to go that route. Hopefully they remain on sale or will be on sale for Memorial Day if they do go off the current sale, and we can do some comparison with stores in the area and maybe find something. I really want him to find something, but I am not super keen on the idea of spending more than the $500 and well now $525 that we have put aside. The one that he really, really liked at the first place we went, where it was positioned, it almost felt like it was like going to be in a clearance and going away stage soon, so I don't know if it'll still be there once Memorial Day stuff comes around. That one was $550, so we'll see. We will see. Okay, let's move on. Licenses. We are putting $20 in there. Oops. Oh, earthquake. All right, so what do we have? We have 50, 70, 81, 82, 83, $84. All right, so as I recall, if I am remembering the website correctly, we now have enough for my driver's license renewal if I'm doing 4 years plus the real ID. I think I mentioned it in one of the other videos, I can't remember which one. Somebody had mentioned themselves in the comments that they did 8-year renewal and it was double the cost. I didn't see anything on the website that spoke to that, so I don't know if it's just a simple doubling of the standard license fee and then add the $30 on top for the real ID, or if it's a different kind of sliding scale to do the 8 years versus 4. So presumably we will have enough time, because it's going to be in a couple more months, to bulk this up a little bit more and get to a point where we do have enough to pay for it, even if it is a double cost. We will have to see though. All right, miscellaneous, this doesn't do anything. Pets gets $160. Okay, so 416. That is going to put us at what? 100, 250, 350, 360. All right. Come on now. Work with me here, paper. And then we've got Prime, which is $12. And we are at 50, 60, 72. Not quite have these yet. Oopsie. There we go. Savings, we are not putting anything else in here. For those of you who are new, we were bolstering this up for a while, having stuff in cash for the job loss funding that we were putting in place. And at some point we consolidated it down so that the money was deposited into the savings account, and now we just move it, transfer whatever we're saving into the savings account. But I did want to keep $500 in cash of that banked amount, just to have. I guess there's not really a good reason for it, but it felt good at the time, so that's what we're doing. Last but not least is taxes. And $20 for that. 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 10, 15, 16, 17. $117. And we'll see if we need to make any changes to how much we are allocating to taxes. It's really going to depend on how many sales I have on Etsy and our various shops. So, you know, we'll kind of have to wait and see on that. We did not have any leftover money this time, so we are not doing anything more with the savings challenge. This was put in place for the plants. I don't know if I want to keep working on it, even though we are moving beyond that particular long-term goal. We didn't get very far on it before hitting the $500 limit that we had made. So as you can see, we only ended up coloring a few things. So I might just keep this. I don't know if it will be for like next year's garden, or if later in the season, if we want to do a fall garden, maybe we'll take this back up. I wouldn't anticipate we would want to or need to save quite as much. I think in the budget with me, I talked about it a little bit. We do have $140+ of the garden fund still left, and I'm not looking at spending it all in the next month or so to get the things that I know we need. But yeah, so we'll have to see. Obviously, our recliner savings, which was at $525, and that is our cash money gone into envelopes. So that's all we got. Let me know, as always, what you think. If you have any suggestions, ideas, or just want to say hi, any comments about stuff that I blathered on about today, note those down below. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch. I know that these tend to go long because I'm a rambler, but as much as I try, I am not great at keeping them to a shorter time period. So it does not hurt my feelings if you run them on 1.5 times or 2 times, or skip around and things like that. So I just appreciate that you're taking the time to listen and watch it all. So on that note, thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.